My dating history prior to meeting my current wife was probably about 4 months long. I went on a couple dates. It was during quarantine, so everything was virtual, online, and I was looking for a woman who loved God first and foremost above everything, who had good sound doctrine, who really valued the church. And so that's what I was primarily looking for, and then someone that I can definitely enjoy my life with. And I wasn't finding anybody, so then came my now wife, Beryl Ann.
I've always wanted to be married. It was something I've always wanted all my life. I let a few distractions get a hold of me through high school and throughout college, of course, but I managed to find God, and He helped me get onto the correct path to get married and find my husband. So, of course, I was single until I got married. I was engaged when I was about 20 or 21. I just didn't understand the purpose of marriage or the meaning of marriage. I did date for a few years, but it just wasn't what I expected. I wasn't courted. Dating for me was pretty much tough. I wasn't really a dating type person. I always found it to be dreadful, and I always just ran into a lot of guys who were just not on the path of commitment, and so it was a bit of a struggle. When I found God, I learned more about courtship and the meaning of courtship and how it gets you prepared for a fulfilling marriage. And so I did lots of research on how to become a wife, the meaning of marriage and courtship, of course, and one thing led to another, and God gave me mercy, and as of October of 2020, I became a bride.
My views on marriage is I believe that marriage is a wonderful gift from God that is meant to point us back to God. I believe marriage is a commitment between a man and a woman who make a promise to each other before God in front of witnesses to be committed to each other through all of life till death do they part. Marriage is also a wonderful picture of how Christ loves his church. A husband should love his wife, fully committed, giving himself up for her, leading her, protecting her, serving her, and then how the church submits to Christ, obeys Christ, trusts in her husband, obeys her husband in a godly way, and we reflect the gospel to the world.
So the meaning of marriage, the purpose of marriage. So I just believe that marriage, according to the Bible, is a union between a man and a woman that comes together as one that gives glory to God. I believe that God designed marriage. I believe it's a union for us to enjoy through pleasure, through companionship, to have someone there for accountability, responsibility, to be selfless, and to give ourselves up for the other person. Of course, it's also a design to have children, and marriage is just a gift. It is a gift from God.
In regards to gender roles, I do believe that God has it set up in a certain way. Both man and woman have equal dignity before God, equal value, but there are different roles. The man leads, leads spiritually. He leads in the house, making decisions with the input and advice of his wife, but ultimately making the final decision for the goodness of their family. And then I do believe in the woman's role as a beautiful role in submitting to her husband, respecting her husband, trusting her husband, raising up the kids, as well as the father has a huge responsibility, an umbrella over the entire family under God to do that as well.
So, what do I know about gender roles, or how do I embrace gender roles? When I was younger, I had no clue what gender roles were. I didn't know the meaning or the purpose behind gender roles. I thought it was something about sexism, that it's all about men dominating a woman, and things you just hear about on TV or in movies. The man is the dominant one, and he's controlling, and he's telling the woman what to do, and she's very silent. When I became Christian, I fully embraced gender roles. I had a full idea of what gender roles are, defined by the Bible. The world may see gender roles as controlling for his wife. It's the husband protecting at all costs for his wife. It is the wife obeying the authority of her husband. It is the wife managing and prioritizing the household. God designed gender roles so that way we're both equal, but yet we're still different. We both contribute equally to our marriage, but we just have two different roles that we're doing that still has equal value. So God sees a husband and a wife as both equal. I stopped believing in all the things about equality, what the world had to say about equality, that we have to be equal despite being a man or a woman. We have to be equal in our career opportunities, in our financial opportunities, in the way we make money, and our role with raising children and the household and homemaking. But that's not what God designed. If we try to confine ourselves with trying to be equal with each other according to what the world says is equal, we may find ourselves a little confused, depressed, and struggling a little bit. When I started embracing God's design of gender roles, life just felt more complete. God is a character of law and order. When we follow order, when we follow law, when we follow structure, it brings out the good in us, even though we may reject it because it does sound harsh to follow an order. It may feel hard, it may feel difficult. We get good out of it. It's good for us.
So how God wrote my love story, or our love story, it was during the pandemic, during quarantine. I met Beryl Ann on a dating site, and we did a couple video chats. Then society opened up, and we went on our first date, and my date with her was different than the dates that I went on with all the other women that I was going on a date with. Ours was about 4 hours long. We had great conversations, went on a walk. I got stung by a caterpillar. It's like love right there, you know? And then we went on a couple more dates. We call it courting. We had a conversation on one of our dates on what our purpose was for our relationship, what we both were looking for out of it. And also we talked about kids and everything like that. Those are all important conversations to have before you do get married. She had the same core beliefs that I had about God, about important things in life. And then secondly, this was a woman that I could see myself enjoying the rest of my life with, serving God and serving each other, and just enjoying this journey that God now has us on.
When I got back from Los Angeles in 2017, I told myself to really focus on getting married the correct way. When I came back to Illinois, that's what I did in 2017. And ironically, I got married October 17th. There's a 17, the year I came back to Illinois from living in Los Angeles for a couple of months, and getting married October 17th. It's just all the glory of God.
What I enjoy about marriage is having someone alongside this journey with me to worship God, to serve others. Marriage is an awesome thing for those who have been called to enjoy this gift, but it's also a hard gift. There's a lot of good times and bad times, but with real relationships, we get through with God being at the center. One of the things that I extremely enjoy about my wife is that we are both really into nature. We both enjoy going on nature walks, taking videos of nature, creating stories. Cooking together is also sometimes fun. But yeah, so even with all the good, there's also a lot of struggles that we have to deal with, like with communication. One of my favorite pies that she's ever made for me, it's my favorite pie of all time, it's pecan pie. I just love pecan pie. She made it for me. For one holiday, I think it was my birthday, but I'm 100%. And it was extremely good. I think I ate it every day.
What I've learned from marriage so far and what I enjoy about marriage is how my husband is handy. He helps me fix things. He helps me with my YouTube channel, making videos and everything, and how we both just love nature. We love going to the beach, going out to trails. What I've been learning from marriage is communication and not really stirring up an argument, if that makes sense. Really learning to ending an argument or diffusing an argument and trying to understand how not to let an argument occur. So this is our story on how God brought together two imperfect people into one person based on love, commitment, and selflessness. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.